Tim Drake and Jason Todd have given up. In our last video and the event within the world of DC, a nightmare wave has washed over the earth, putting most of the world's heroes and villains asleep, trapping them in their own personal nightmares. But for Tim Drake and Jason Todd, the two managed to fall into the same nightmare, allowing them to work off of one another. While Jason is quite literally battling his demons that are versions of what he has become, the monstrous Red Hood, Tim Drake is stuck in a constant loop of watching his father die over and over again because he wasn't able to save him. Can these two survive their own nightmares? This is Comicstorian. I take comic books, I break them down into audio dramas so that you know what's going on in the world of comics. If you enjoy this story, consider going to your local comic book store and supporting this industry. Now let's get into Night Terrors, Robins 2. Tim tries to focus, telling himself that this isn't real. Through all the noise, Jason calls out to him, asking if he can hear him. Tim snaps out of it, asking if it's really Jason. Is he really there? And Jason takes another hit from his clones. Yeah, I'm pretty far from okay. And I can barely hear you with all the blood in my ears. With all the people in our little family. Did you ever guess that we'd be the ones dying together, Tim? Because things aren't looking too good here. Tim tries listening more, but as Jason's words fade, he thinks to himself that maybe Jason is right. Tim's nightmare version of himself says, "That's what I wanted to hear. The sweet marinade of defeat just before death." Jason is cracked across the face once more with a crowbar, and he tells them, "Just end it already! What are you waiting for?" He gets up banging on the locked door asking, "Couldn't anyone else kill me? Penguin, Two-Face? No, it had to be my own nightmares that got me." He slams on the door once more, telling them that all he wanted was someone, anyone, that he could count on. And Tim hears Jason's plea. "Jason? Where are you?" "I'm one too many steps over the edge, Tim." Jason looks over the edge that he is literally on and notices Tim is in a similar situation, stuck on his own. "Looks like we're in the same boat. The Robin that's a failure is going to die along the Robin who thinks he's a failure." What? Are you kidding? No one thinks that you're a failure. Is that really what you think, Jason? It's what I know. You obviously don't know jack squat then. You didn't fail. Batman failed you. Your mother failed you. You did what we were all trained to do. Survive. Survive? To what? Become a monster? To kill people? To be perpetually alone? You were never alone, Jason. You just pushed us away. That doesn't mean that we gave up on you. You have a lot to atone for, sure, but you're more than just your failures, and you're not alone. I'll always be here if you need me. Of course, because you've always been there in the past. Fine, let's pretend you're telling me the truth. Then you better start taking your own advice. What do you mean? You're just like Batman. You think you can save everyone, but you can't. And you shouldn't put that on yourself. My dad died because I couldn't save him, Jason. I was trained by Batman and it was all for nothing. What if I can't save Bernard or Stephanie? What if I can't even get myself out of this? You weren't chosen to be a Robin. You demanded it. And thank God you did. Because you're damn good at it. We were chosen. You chose yourself. That takes a lot of guts. And you're not going to be able to save everyone, but you want to. And you'll never stop trying. That's what counts. Thanks, Jason. Don't mention it. So now that we've agreed to not give up just yet, how do we beat these two? Tim tells them that they have to defeat themselves first. You game? And Jason tells him, you know it. I'm always willing to take myself down a peg. You aren't alone, Jason. And you're stronger than you think. Now let's show them what you've got. As Tim looks back at the door, he steps through the scene of his father being killed. In his nightmare version, the insomnia version asks, "Did someone manage to pull you out of the void of despair? You know what that means, right? Time to break you all over again!" The nightmare picks up Tim's father like a puppet. "Where do you get off calling yourself my son? Since when did I raise a failure? You're just a little brat pretending to be a hero." Tim smacks his father's hand away. "No!" And the nightmare snaps his fingers. "You don't get to say no! It's time for you to pay for what you did and what you're going to do. You're only gonna live long enough to watch your friends suffer because you're not good enough." Do you think Nightwing would let this happen? Or Barbara? What makes you so special? The world needed a Robin, so I became the best that I could be. Yes, people have died. More people might. I couldn't save my father, and I accept that now. But that won't stop me from trying to save the others or beating this cheap nightmare copy into paste. While Tim begins to find his rhythm, Jason too begins fighting back against his copies, and he takes out his guns, tossing them to the side. One of the copies kicks the guns back. You have to pick them up and fight! But Jason sits back down. Why? Because I'm so good at doing what I've been told? No, I'm gonna try a different approach. I'm gonna wait for backup to arrive. The copies, again the Insomnia versions, yell at him. No one is coming for you! You're alone! Do you know why no one ever comes? Yep. Because I never ask. Jason sits there for a few moments and he lets out a forced sigh. Robin, Tim, I need your help. Back with Tim, his nightmare shouts, You're the one who did this! You're the one who killed your father. I can't save everyone, Tim tells him. But even if someone else dies, I'll never stop trying. Tim begins to rip the nightmare's cloak off. Because I don't break. I hope. I'm the light. The nightmare falls back, curling up. You won't save everyone! Your friends, your family, just give it up! And Tim says that he'd rather die trying. Right now, more than ever, one of them needs his help. Over with Jason, his nightmares begin to beat him over and over, using their crowbars, telling him, Fight back, or the next time we'll break your skull! Jason just laughs. I'd love to see you try. Why don't we just wait for my friend to get here? I'm sure that's gonna go over well. One of the copies stabs Jason in the stomach, telling him that it's time for him to die. And he's going to die alone. No one is coming to save him. You're wrong. Drake, you want to do the honors? And a second later, Tim comes crashing through the barrier, feet first, into one of the copies. As he lands, Jason looks at him. Ha! Took you long enough. But I didn't doubt you for a second. Now you ready to get some payback? And Tim smiles. Nothing would make me happier. The two begin to take on each other's nightmares with more determination than they ever have had before, easily winning over their fears and past traumas. And as the versions fade away, Tim says that settles it. All right, now, how do we wake up? Jason looks out. Something tells me that's what we're about to find out. The world begins to shift and the two begin to roll away. I'll see you on the other side. I just hope you're alive on the other side. Jason wakes back up on the roof of the warehouse that he was on before he got sucked into the dreamscape, and he looks over the edge at the stationed goons asleep. He radios it in. Anybody there? I need help. Robin, Oracle. Tim? A few silent seconds later, Tim radios back. Okay, this is bad. It could have been a lot worse, but this is bad. Are you okay? I fell asleep while driving my bike. I'm a little bruised and battered on the outside. You good? Jason says that he's getting there. It looks like there's still a big mess to clean up. Somebody probably needs a beatdown, and he might not be able to do it himself. Assuming you were really in that dream, you ready to make good on what you promised? Tim picks up his bike, riding it off. Always. I'm on my way, Jason. And that concludes the Robin story. Now, as with the other ones, I'm loving what Night Terrors is actually doing. What could have just easily been one-off storylines has turned into these great stories of the characters overcoming traumas. Now, the big question is going to boil down to this. Is this going to last? Is Jason going to refer to Tim and try to get his help later? Is Tim going to realize that he can't save everyone? Or is this just going to be some fun moments that gives us a little bit more exploration into the characters and then will quickly be forgotten because that's what happens in the world of comics? I don't know, but so far as of right now, I'm enjoying what's going on with these. I hope you are as well, and if you want to get early access, make sure you check out our YouTube memberships or you go to our Patreon. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can know when the next video is coming out. We're already working on the Green Lantern book follow-up, and we're working on some bigger long-form stuff such as World's Finest 7 through 17, Daredevil 1 through 13, and we're doing the Red Hood webtoons in a big batch. So I hope you're as excited as I am. I'll see you next time.